All praises due to the Most High, family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 23 of 2B Hero X. And we get into how Ahu, a dog, became the number 8 hero, family. It was crazy. So Ahu was trained to be a circus dog. And he said that his original owner trained him to be a tiger because his owner had experienced a tiger attack. And so this is a way that the owner could basically move past that trauma. But so Ahu is a circus dog, and with all that training lays the foundation for his intelligence. Like, this is a smart dog because he can do all these tricks. He's used to taking all these commands for performing for large audiences. But eventually, he said that we know how trust value work, right? Like, the more people believe in you and are a fan of you, the stronger you get. So he's got all these kids that are big fans of him and saying, oh, he's so smart. Oh, he can do anything. But Ahu is mentally expressing that even though he's getting all this love from these children, he don't like kids. And so eventually he gets smothered by a group of them, and he bites one of the kids. Now we know what we do with dogs who bite people. So he end up like at a shelter, and they got like a vet or some type of, lab coat person running tests, seeing what's wrong with the dog. And this little girl, what was her name? So her name's Shinya. And we get a flashback later in the episode, but basically she was one of these kids that's seen Ahu in the circus. But so while Ahu is in the shelter as a result of biting a different child, she pulls up because she's familiar with Ahu. So she pulls up and say, oh, y'all got Ahu? She's like, I want to take him. I want to adopt him. And so she just give them whatever money she got. And for some reason, right off the bat, Ahu is just more docile and comfortable with Shinya. Like, for it's just not explained. We don't quite understand. But right, he there because he bit a child, and she's in there just really like commanding him and moving him around and picking him up, and he's got no problem with it. So they let her take Ahu. Now he go back to the village, and so they're living in like a small neighborhood where it seems like it was Nice's hero agency. They're trying to get all of the deeds to the home for some reason. And so what they have at first are some like thugs, some muscle to come and like intimidate the people into signing over their deeds, but that don't work. And Ahu kind of Shinya kind of recruited Ahu for the purpose of fighting them off. So we see them pull up. Well, before that, Shinya's trying to build this image for Ahu. She's trying to convince the other people in this neighborhood, this village, that Ahu can save them. She's making videos to try to make Ahu look powerful. She's making cutouts and stuff. She's giving him a costume. And so these thugs pull up, and Shinya and Ahu are right there trying to run them off. Now, obviously they're grown men dealing with a little girl and a dog. And this episode was kind of hard to watch because these grown men had no problems hitting a little girl and this dog. Like, towards the end of the episode, they got the stuffing beat out of him. It's kind of hard to watch, but it's a cartoon. But so they come, they slap Shinya out the way. They kick Ahu out the way. But where this dude messed up is he called, Ahu had his costume on at the time, and the thug called him a clown. And so that triggered Ahu. So he ran them off. And then the village people started to have a little bit of belief in him, right? So we got the foundation of him becoming a hero, like for real, for real. Now, because the thugs didn't work and get the deeds, they tried like a more official, formal way of coming to convince these people to sign over their deeds. And they tell them, well, a hero. Well, they try to use a hero as a persuasive tool. And so we talking to this granny that we was introduced to, and she explains, well, most everybody signed over their deeds, but she hadn't yet. And so Shinya decides, well, let's go get those deeds back, because we not trying to sign our homes away. So they go on a little covert mission. They find this I don't even know what you call it, but it was one of the bad guys, right? Now, these were some of the same bad guys that we seen pop up at the spaceship site incident, and we seen how brutal and how violent they were in beating up the research team. So they scary when you recognize them, but Shinya and Ahu, they don't recognize them. It's just you do as a viewer. But so we hear one on the phone, and we can hear the voice that he on the phone with, and it's nice. And so she sneaks in the room. Shinya sneaks in the room while he on the phone, and she has Ahu, because he's smart, and she doing hand signals to him. He barked to get him to leave the room. She grabbed the deeds. Now we got to run away from these guys. And so they start popping up left and right. We basically seen that it looked like one who was making like shadow clones. Like they just kept multiplying and multiplying. But so we got the deeds, y'all. We on the run. And it gets to a point where Shinya and Ahu have to separate. And this is where it gets hard to watch, because they're mugging Shinya. And then, because she's a little girl fighting like multiple like grown men physiques, right? And then the same goes for Ahu. Now, eventually, Ahu get away and run into this same guy who's wasn't so obviously X, but became obviously X, right? It was the same guy that we ran into the granny, and he was at like this vending machine. And so Ahu run into him and learns that he's X, and he start fighting. He basically saved Ahu from these men. And we see him fighting like on a two-dimensional plane, like they look like moving spray paint, fighting. So then this allows Ahu to go back and try to save Shinya. Now there's one more of these mafia men that was copying themselves. He there. And then Nice even drops down. So this is where Ahu puts the dots together. Oh no, like Nice is in on it. That was the voice we heard. And so something clicks that this guy throws an axe towards Shinya, and Ahu snap. I mean, he's beat up, family. He's torn down. He's not in good shape, but he finds the wherewithal to save Shinya. He basically grabs the axe mid-throw and throws it and takes out the mafia guy who was covered in fear. Then the fear gets on Nice, and that makes Nice retreat, because at the same time, these reporter drones showed up, and he's like, I can't get caught, and I'm infected with fear. I got to get out of here. And so this basically, now everybody's interviewing the dog. Like, did you really save the village? Did you really do this and that? And this propels him to be the number 8 hero. Now, Nice goes back to the spot, and he's like, please save me. I'm infected by fear. But his boss is unhappy with him. He's like, you didn't get the deeds. A dog is outranking you. And then the episode ends with Nice basically foreshadowing when he offs himself at the very first episode. Crazy.